morning. Happy Friday. If you're joining me live, how happy are you that it's Friday? Oh, get excited that maybe you get a little break. Here, if I had control over the work week for the average person, I would make everybody have a 4-day work week. I think 4 days is plenty and we deserve 3 days off. I would love to see that for everybody. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Can you get on board with that? That's one of those. If I were the president, I would issue a 4-day work week for the whole world so that we could have more time to be with our families and enjoy life on a different level. Well, happy Friday. I'm excited to be here with you. And today is the final day on my series on network marketing that I've been going live every day this week to talk about different elements of building a network marketing business, my thoughts on network marketing, affiliate marketing, all the different things. Today, I want to talk about building belief. In my book here, it's chapter 6, building bigger belief. And I thought I would reference some of the things in the book today for my live. The first thing that I put here is one of my favorite quotes ever. It's from Henry Ford. He said, "Whether you believe you can do a thing or not, you're right." You're right. I don't think I can do that. You're right. I think I'm going to be able to do that. You're right. Building belief. What do you think about yourself? Like, what do you believe is possible? I kind of have always subscribed to this belief system that if it's possible in the world, then it's possible for me. It's just a matter of figuring out how to make it happen. If somebody else can do a thing, I believe, why couldn't I do it? They just learned a skill, or they just had a resource that I didn't have to be able to do things. So I've always believed if it's possible for somebody else, then it's possible for me. And I love that. And when I first heard about network marketing, I was standing behind the chair as a stylist and a makeup artist. I've told this story a number of times, and I never knew anybody that made money. It seemed cool. It didn't seem like a bad business. It seemed fun, like a fun thing that girls do to get together, a reason to have a party and invite all your friends over and hang out. But that didn't seem like a business to me. That didn't seem like a viable way to turn something into an income. And, this was how my thinking was. Why would I bother with something that wasn't actually going to make me money? As a single mom, like, that was so much on the forefront of my mind, was making money. And so I was like, why would I even bother to spend all this time just for nothing? Why would I invest money in this? Why would I do the whole thing? And so I was just not interested. Even though people told me stories about people that made money, that because it wasn't them and because I didn't know anybody personally that it happened to, and I never met him. I'd never been to a network marketing event. I'd never been to a convention. So I was like, that's not real. That's not a real thing. And then I met Bobby, and Bobby was making at the time like almost 6 figures every month. It was somewhere around $80,000 a month. A month. I didn't know that in the beginning, though. When we first started dating, I didn't know that. It was, his lifestyle was evident, though, of something very, very different than my lifestyle. I was working in the salon. I would work, 10, sometimes 12 hours a day in the salon. But on average about 10, and, had no life, really no life, very, very busy. I worked every week, 5, sometimes 6 days a week. And, here was this guy, and he seemed to have all this time. It was weird. It was very, very weird. And here's a funny story. Somebody that I knew from cosmetology school knew my husband, now Bobby's youngest brother. And I don't know how we got on the topic of it, but I was talking about this. I don't know, he's in network marketing or something, but he like doesn't seem like he's ever working. And she goes, yeah, it's funny. His brother said nobody knows what he does and they think he's in the mafia. Like kind of half joking. They think he's in the mafia because he, made great money, but he didn't work that much and nobody knew what he did. So they thought he was in the mafia. I thought that was kind of funny. Good morning, Molly. Good morning. So that was my introduction into my believing that something in network marketing was possible, money making was possible. And then, of course, after we had been together for a while, actually, the first time I heard what he was making is because I went to one of the meetings where he was speaking. He was speaking at one of the meetings for his company, and I sat in the back of the room, watched him do the meeting, and I heard, and I was like, "What? He's making what?" Here's another little story, a little tidbit. When we first started dating, this happened 2 separate times, and I thought he planned it because I was like, he's really trying to like impress me. We went out. We went to a restaurant in Del Mar on the beach, overlooking the ocean, beautiful. And somebody there knew him. They were like, "Are you Bobby Schaefer?" He went by Bob then. "Are you Bob Schaefer?" And I was like, he planned this to like look impressive to me. And he had a little conversation with it. Happened in another restaurant when we were in downtown San Diego. The waitress was like, "Are you Bob Schaefer?" And his company had just had an event, a big convention in San Diego with 5,000 people, and he spoke on the stage. And this was right in the beginning of us dating. And I thought, he's paying people to say this to like impress me. But he was a big deal in that company. And so anyway, I got to see this all kind of from an outsider's perspective about the network marketing profession, and that built my belief. Of course, we ended up getting married, and a couple of years later, I jumped into the network marketing profession. And the girl that enrolled me into my first company was somebody who had no background in network marketing at all, got involved in a party plan company that had a really, really old, literally at that time, that was 20 years ago, and the company was 20 years old at that point. So that was 40 years ago. That the girl that enrolled me built an income in that company to, at that time, it was about $13,000 a month, which was very impressive to me because if I knew if I could do that same thing, I could quit my job doing hair. And I wanted to quit my job doing hair. I wanted to come home and be home with my kids. I want to say this to you because a lot of people in network marketing will say, you got to get in now. Ground floor opportunity. If I hear the phrase ground floor opportunity one more time, I'm going to jump in a lake. I am so sick of that phrasing, ground floor opportunity. If you are with a good company with a good compensation plan, it doesn't matter when you enroll. And I'll be honest with you, even if you're with a bad company with a bad compensation plan, if you do the work, you can build a business. That company that I enrolled with, my first ever company, I'm not going to say the name of it, but my first ever company was a 20-year-old company at that time. It had it was basically a party plan, but it had a network marketing structure, sort of. It had an old school unilevel with a breakaway compensation. And Bobby told me in the beginning, he said, "This has got a terrible comp plan." And I said, "I don't care what it has. So-and-so is making $13,000 a month. And if she can do it, so can I. And I'm going to be able to do it faster than she did it because I have you to teach and train me." Literally, these are the words that I used with Bobby when I first got started. I was like, "I don't care if it's old. She did it, so I can too. Because you're going to be the one to teach and train me. And I'm going to be able to do it twice as fast as she did." And so and the company was in momentum. That year, within a year of me joining that company enrolled, and it was, like I said, 20 years old. The company itself, and they had almost $1 million. I mean, almost 1 million people enrolled in 1 year in that company. That's a lot of people in 1 year. So the company itself was in momentum. And so when people talk about ground floor opportunity, I mean, here's the truth about network marketing. Whenever you enroll, it's the ground floor opportunity for you every time, no matter the age of the company. It's always a ground floor opportunity for you. That's the truth, because you are the one building the business. You're the one building the business. It doesn't matter if it's a ground floor opportunity and you go direct to the company. You're the one putting the people in the downline. So what does it matter? Right? And I know a lot of compensation plans will really, really talk about spillover and, you only have to build one leg. Let me tell you something. I was in that kind of a compensation plan too. And the people that only built one leg never learned the skills for network marketing. They built with an entitled attitude, not really knowing how to build a team. And if you have one leg, like a big leg that you have in your business that you didn't have to add to, it's not just twice as easy, it's 100 times easier. And if by chance something happened and that goes away, when you have to go to another company and build both legs, you're going to be shocked at the work that it takes, because it does take work. Listen, it's easier than building my business. Sorry, my eye is itching. It's easier than building my business when I was standing behind the chair or other types of business, but it's still work. I hate that we try to undercut what this is and lie to people and say, all you have to do, what's the one that I've been seeing all over social media for the last several months? 2 hours a day is all it takes. Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is that isn't true for everybody. Maybe some people can, in 2 hours, get a lot done, but maybe for some people it's 4. And so I feel like it's such a lie to tell people that this is all it takes. If you want to build $1 million business, you need to have $1 million mentality. People want to build $1 million business and they have a less than minimum wage mentality. I only want to do this much, but I want to get this much. That never, ever works. And even if somebody happened to get lucky because who knows, that things happen. Listen, there's a little bit of luck involved. Let's be honest. There's a little bit of luck involved. If your company has a product, okay, here's an example. In 2020, when people could not get cleaning products and couldn't go to the store, companies that carried those type of products, they exploded. Companies that had natural products exploded during COVID because of the fact that people were able to have access to this and get it shipped to their home. And that was a little bit of luck for those people that were already involved. They already had a little bit of a team, right? How could you have predicted that? That didn't take any skill on your part to make that happen. That was timing in the world that nobody could have planned. So there's a little bit of luck involved. You never know who you're going to come across, right? So there's just a lot of language in network marketing that really doesn't do the profession any favors. And that's one of them, this ground floor opportunity. I tell you what, that was a 20-year-old company with an old compensation plan. And in 9 months, me and Bobby built that to 6 figures. Of course, then the breakaway part started to happen. And I was very depressed because after my biggest month, my check went down thousands of dollars because the person that I promoted bumped out of my business. Depressing. I knew that I could not thrive in that environment. I knew that I couldn't. But you're the one that creates the ground floor opportunity based on your energy, your excitement, and your effort. So don't get sucked in to that. I just want you to know, don't get sucked into the language. It's a sales tactic, and I think it's kind of slimy and kind of cheesy. And, people always use this one example of when Apple got started, the few people that were in the garage with him and the people that he invited and the ones that said no, it's not necessarily the same. Because that was a company that grew off, that was a company, and they were talking about corporate positions. So they weren't the ones building the computers. They had staff and everything. In network marketing, you're the one building it. So you could get in at the beginning and still have big goose egg because you didn't do anything. Or you could get in 20 years later, 25 years later, and you could go and crush it. I've watched that happen a million times on both sides. So ground floor opportunity, blah, blah, blah. If you want to build $1 million business, you have to have $1 million mindset, and you have to be willing to do some work, learn some skills, and you have to raise your level of belief. I'm going to give you 3 things to help you raise your level of belief. Number 1 is learn about the profession. I've talked about it this week. Maybe I talked about this yesterday, so this might be a repeat. I've been doing these lives so much, I don't even know what I'm saying from one live to the next. Learn about the profession. There's a lot of ways you can learn about the history of the profession, what made it legal, how long it's been around, and what constitutes illegal companies. That will help you a lot to see, like, you'll be able to sift through the profession and go, oh, that looks like it's not going to last. I'm not going to go in that direction because that company, based on what I know now about the profession, that company, that compensation plan is not going to make it. They're going to get in trouble. Number 2, belief in your company. Learn everything you can about your company. Do some deep dives. Start interviewing some of your top leaders. See if you can talk with the corporate people. Maybe you even get the opportunity to meet the founders and talk with them about their heart and their vision and why they even started the company. That'll build your belief. Get yourself to your company events. Nothing will shift your belief in the company like getting to a company event. That's number 2. And then number 3 would be developing more skills. Because when you develop more skills, you have higher levels of confidence. When you have higher levels of confidence, it builds your belief. And the higher your belief is, the more believable you will be to other people. So some of you are wondering, like, I'm doing all these things and I'm saying all the words, but I'm still not getting the result. It's because your belief isn't high enough and people can sense it, and you're not believable because innately they feel that you don't even believe the things that you're saying. Your authenticity is off. You're saying the right words, but what they're feeling energetically from you is not aligned. When you have higher belief, you are more believable. Raise your belief, and more people will believe in the things that you're saying. So this isn't just talk. These are legitimate things that need to happen. You're in control of them. As a leader in a team, I can't make you believe, but I can walk you into the activities that will help raise your belief. So when you have leaders on your team that are saying, you need to get to the event, you need to get to the company convention, you need to get there, they're saying that because they know it's going to shift your belief. When you hear leaders tell you, here's an activity that you need to engage in, here's a skill you need to develop, they're not saying that just for the sake of saying it. They know that as you develop these skills, you'll become more confident, which will raise your belief, which will give you more believability with the people you're talking to, which will in turn then give you more success. Does that make sense? All of the things I'm telling you, I am telling you from personal experience. I learned this profession by doing it, by jumping in, by making mistakes, by learning from other people, by reading books, listening to podcasts. Back in the day, I used to download CDs and put them in my car, and because there wasn't podcasts back then, that was my podcast. I listened to personal development or trainings on CD so that I could continue to learn. I had an insatiable hunger to learn about the network marketing profession. Let's see if there's anything in this book that, the higher your level of belief is, the more believable you become to others. And then here is another little tip for you about building your own belief. Mentorship. So good mentorship for you, having somebody who's either a good upline or a good enroller, somebody that's walking you into success-based activities in the profession. Mentorship plus actions, your actions equals belief. Your belief will not grow if your actions are nil. It takes action. Everything takes action. So many people jump into network marketing. It's a small investment and they do small activity because they don't really have a huge stake. It was $1,000. You put it on your credit card. It's not a big deal if you don't do anything. And then they go away and they complain. That doesn't work. It does work because there are millions of people around the world involved in network marketing making full-time income. It does work. It didn't work for you because you didn't do the work, right? Let's just be honest. Let's call the thing what we call it. Stop blaming it on the company. Stop blaming it on the upline. Like I said to you yesterday, a lack of knowledge today is a choice because there are an abundance of resources available to you, to anybody. So if you don't know how to do something, that's just a choice you've made. And specifically in network marketing, we have so many amazing resources available to teach and train you. Align yourself with some good people. Matter of fact, in a little over 30 minutes inside Kingdom Alliance, every Friday, I do a Financial Freedom Friday call. It's all about network marketing training. And that we do that in our company through the lens of faith. Building as a Christian entrepreneur, building as a faith-filled network marketer. That's just part of our community. Because we are network marketers, me and Bobby, we talk a lot about network marketing as one of our resources. It's a whole category inside of the company of training that you get access to all the time. I love network marketing for a lot of reasons. And I love the development part. Like almost as much as I love the opportunity to create leveraged finances. Create leveraged finances I love more. Why? Because that has a big, giant impact, not just on you, but on your family and on the rest of the world. I believe that as we free people from the burden of debt, that they are able to contribute and grow and step into the things that God called them to do. That is why we are on a mission to create more Christian millionaires than any other company in the world. I'm excited about that. To create more debt-free, financially free Christian households than any other company in the world. I mean, you don't have to be a Christian to be part of what we are doing inside Kingdom Alliance. Not at all. Our resources are so good that even if you aren't a believer, you are going to gain so much. But you are going to have a whole bunch of people praying for you. So hopefully you're cool with that. Yes, Sharon, so much information at your fingertips. Just need to look for it. Again, it requires action. Yes. That is sadly the missing piece for so many people. Oh, I try and try to lose weight, but it just can't do it. Well, maybe it's time to change your diet and get moving. Like there's a formula for things. Oh, I've tried and tried in network marketing. I've never been able to do anything. But how many actual conversations did you have this month? How many new connections did you make? And how many times did you tell the story? What's the story? It's the opportunity presentation that your company has available to you. Your job is to tell that story. How many times did you share your testimony about your company or your product this week? Oh, once. That doesn't get it done. That's a hobby. If you want to make a full-time income, you have to treat this like a full-time opportunity, like a real business. You have to put real effort, real time, real energy into it. Sharon says, just need to realize that if you don't already have a following and how much time you put in, yes, this will determine how quickly you grow. Slow is not necessarily a bad thing. Just keep going. Well, if you don't have a following, and a lot of people don't have a following, here, let me just say this. I'm almost done here. In network marketing, people say, I don't want to talk to my friends and family. I've never really understood that because your friends and your family, they're the people that hopefully trust you the most. Hopefully you have influence over your friends and family. So if you say, I found this amazing snack. This is one of my snacks I got at Costco. It is sea salt covered pistachios. If this is Like, you need to try these. You're going to love these. And the people and your friends and family are going to go, oh, I love pistachios and I love dark chocolate. I'll totally try that. And you go, actually, I can buy it for you. Here. That's what influencing your friends and family is. Them knowing that you're somebody they can trust. So if you recommend something, they're like, oh, I'm all in. If every family is different, sometimes they're very skeptical. Sometimes you've developed a reputation in your own family, like they know you better than anybody, and they don't think that you're trustworthy with your opinions. You can't blame them for that. That's based on maybe what they've seen in your life so far. If you don't have a following, what do you work to do? You work to build an audience. How do you build an audience? You be a person that adds value on a platform. Go and what are you an expert at? In anything. What are you an expert at? What about you is interesting and knowledgeable that you can add value to people's lives? Like, you have to go get out there to build a following if that's what you're trying to do. If you're trying to utilize social media. So everybody wants to do attraction marketing, yet you're not even working on being somebody online that people are attracted to. You can't just post like quotes every day. Social media is your ability to create your own virtual magazine, talk show, television show, and show people what you're all about and why they just can't wait to see the next thing that you're going to do. I could go on and on. Build belief. The more belief you build, the more believable you'll be. Did I say that right? The more belief that you build, the more believable you will be to other people. So work on building your belief. Okay, I will see you guys all next week, starting on Monday again. I hope you'll join me for the last couple days of me going live for the month of August. Have a great weekend.